The heavyweight division just continues to disappoint. Happy Halloween, everybody. Obviously, I have to wear my costume, my Minecraft diamond armor chestplate, and the only thing scarier than Halloween is how shitty this heavyweight division is. Oh my god. Okay, last weekend's card, we first saw Chris Barnett's ass out and him getting pummeled by Hamdi Abdel Wahab. Then we saw Jilton Almeida just sit on top of Volkov and expect to get a win with absolutely no damage. And finally, to put the cherry on top, the marquee fight. And the fight to save the heavyweight division disappointed heavy, as just as things were starting to heat up, Ciryl Gane goes full John Jones and gouges for not just one, but 2 eyeballs, ending the fight by no contest. And oh man, has this made the community switch up on Tom Aspinall? Tom's nose started to bleed, of course, and granted, I will admit, Ciryl Gane had a very good start to this fight, a much better start than I gave him. But this has led to so many bad takes I've seen online, and a lot of people believing that Tom used that eye poke to one out after Ciryl Gane had a really good start. And I swear to God, people are either rage baiting or seriously fucking stupid, because one, that was a deep eye poke in both eyes. Anyone blaming Tom for the stoppage should not be allowed to vote. Like, it was Ciryl Gane who caused all of this. Why are people blaming Tom for not wanting to continue after a really bad eye poke? If anything, everybody should be very mad at Ciryl Gane. And then number 2, Tom wants this fight bad. Ciryl Gane is the last top contender in the heavyweight division he hasn't already beat, and probably wants to prove to everyone that he can get it done better than John did. And then number 3, it was the first round, the literal first 5 minutes of the fight. Some of you idiots don't think that Tom would have made the adjustments after the first? Yeah, I don't know. The stupidity I've been seeing from the fallout of this fight in the first couple of minutes we saw has been very infuriating. So in this video, let's go over what we actually learned from the first couple of minutes in this fight and see how the rematch may play out, and see, most importantly, how the heavyweight division is going to move on. So getting into the fight itself, there's not much we can go off of. They literally fought for 4 minutes and 35 seconds, but I will give Ciryl Gane the respect he deserves. He did land the jab really well, to the point where we saw clear damage from Tom's nose. He defended the one and only takedown Tom shot, and really managed his distance very well in the short time we got to see them fight. But on the flip side, we have to remind ourselves that this was the first round, and there were 4 rounds to go. Ciryl Gane had a great first 2 rounds against Francis Ngannou before getting smashed in the next 3. The shot that Ciryl Gane defended from Tom was not that deep at all, and I really don't think Tom was actually trying to go all out for the shot. I think he kind of used that early shot as a gauge for distance and see how Ciryl would react to a shot. And again, I refuse to believe that a smart and super skilled fighter like Tom would continue to fight Cyryl's game for the next 4 rounds and not make any adjustments. And I feel like no one is talking about this, but Tom landed some really heavy leg kicks. He obviously didn't land any significant punches, but the leg kicks he landed on Ciryl did land very heavy and made Ciryl switch stances early. If Tom continued to land leg kicks like that, that definitely would have slowed down the mobility of Ciryl Gane and would have given him problems with both his striking and his ability to sprawl or defend takedowns in general. And we could keep playing this game, of course. Ciryl could have adjusted to the leg kicks, and Tom could have adjusted to the jab that landed early, but again, we can never truly know. But what I do know, and what is a positive thing going into the inevitable rematch, is that the hype for this fight will be through the roof and way better than the hype that we were going into in this fight. See, Tom Aspinall going into this fight was a giant minus 350-ish favorite, while Ciryl Gane was about a plus 270 underdog, which in implied probability meant that he had around 25% chance of winning. Now, with a solid showing in the first, the odds are around minus 160 for Tom and plus 140 for Ciryl Gane in the rematch. This fight definitely seems like it's going to be way closer, and the story and narrative going into the rematch is going to be through the roof. The narrative going into this fight will be the conflicting narratives of some people thinking Ciryl Gane would have continued to do what he did in the first and get the decision, while others are going to say that that was the only first round and Tom would have eventually found the finish. But whatever you believe, there's no denying that this rematch is going to carry so much more weight than this fight, and hopefully headlines a big card next year. And what we also learned, or rather what we were reminded of, is that Ciryl Gane and other fighters continue to be very dirty fighters, and the eye poke problem continues to be a problem that goes unchecked in the UFC. Guru actually made a very good point. A lot of fighters have been fighting for a very long time and have never eye poked anyone, while fighters like John Jones, Ciryl Gane, and his boy Nasruddin Imavov routinely routinely eye poke and foul everyone. Maybe it's not the gloves. Maybe it's how these fighters actually fight. The problem is that all these fighters love to fight long and rangy, and one of their main tools is just extending their arms out, and oftentimes their fingers too. I want to give the benefit of the doubt to all these fighters and assume they're not doing it intentional, so they're doing it probably subconsciously, and that type of reach is just so embedded into their fighting style that they can't help it. But nonetheless, whether intentional or not, they gotta stop. What I propose is a hard warning when fingers are extended, even if there's no eye poke. Then the second time it happens, regardless of a poke or not, it's a point deduction. I know it's harsh, but I think a harsh punishment of fingers extended will really stop fighters from extending fingers, and fighters like Ciryl Gane or Nasruddin Imavov have to be really conscious of their fingers extended and have to extend their arms with a closed fist. And of course, that in addition to new gloves that actually naturally close the hand, like Trevor Whitman's gloves or maybe the Pride gloves, have to go into effect as well. As I was editing this, apparently there might be some eye poke and rule changes coming out of the UFC this week. So hopefully those rules are good and go into effect soon, because eye pokes just continue to ruin the sport, and in this case ruined a very important time for the heavyweight division and sport in general. And speaking of the heavyweight division and sport, we're also reminded this weekend that the heavyweight division just continues to be really bad. This was supposed to be the fight that moved the heavyweight division and either continues Tom Aspinall's reign as actual champion or crowns anew in Ciryl Gane. We waited basically a year for the division to move just for this fight to end, like basically nothing happened. The card also really showed how bad the rest of the division is, with again Jailton Almeida not knowing what ground and pound is, Chris Barnett not knowing his waist size, and Hamdi Abdel Wahab fighting a fight so boring for Dana that he got cut after a win. The problem with the heavyweight division is that there's practically no prospects in the heavyweight division to look forward to. The top of the heavyweight division continues to rotate between Tom, Ciryl, Volkov, and Sergey, which is why Ciryl will just get unlimited title shots without needing to fight at all. The real answer to the heavyweight division is to introduce as many new names as possible and get them into the top 10 as soon as possible by kicking out the guys in the current top 10. Dana and the UFC have been doing this. Recently, they did it with Ante Delia by having him debuting against longtime contender Marcin Tybura, and with a quick KO, Delia became ranked number 9 out the gate. They tried also doing this with Taliesin Teixeira by pitting him against Derek Lewis, but unfortunately for the UFC, Derek Lewis got it done, meaning one less new name for the division. But yeah, the UFC knows what to do with the heavyweight division, but they need to do it at a faster pace. They need to get rid of the Taboras, Spivaks, and Derek Lewis's in the top 10 and introduce new names and new contenders, but ironically, the amount of competent heavyweights is slim. But if the state of the heavyweight division said anything that night, it said it needs Alex Pereira to move up. This division is in desperate need of a superstar, a big name, a new name in the division, and these days it really doesn't get bigger than Alex Pereira. Not only does he bring star power to this division, but he also creates very interesting matchups with Ciryl Gane, Sergey, Volkov, and of course Tom Aspinall. I've seen some brain dead takes after the Ciryl Gane fight, saying that Alex might even beat Tom after that fight. I wouldn't say that, of course, but again, he's a very exciting and interesting matchup for most of the top heavyweights, and with how shitty the heavyweight division showed itself last Saturday, I'm even more inclined that Dana will let Alex move up and fight at the very least John Jones at the UFC White House event, and even further, possibly letting Alex stay in that division and fight the other contenders. But anyways, what do you guys think about the heavyweight division? What do you think about Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane rematching? Do you still have Tom Aspinall, or did you see those first 4 minutes and say Ciryl Gane might have it? And what do you think about the heavyweight division as a whole? How is it going to move on? Are there any other contenders that may have a challenge for the throne? I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and always supporting, and happy Halloween. It's fucking Friday, dude. It's gonna be sick and really dangerous for my liver. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.